He is not actually on the boat, but he is a part of the crew. And his father speaks very highly of him. And if you guys been watching my lives, Brandon's live, as they're going and they're launching out, you see him out there working hard. And he's been doing this since 6 sailing. And what age when it comes to building the boat?
Building boats, I was probably 14 years old-ish in our warehouse, just putting them all together. And then I started sailing when I was 5 or 6 years old on a lake up in upstate South Carolina.
That's crazy. So when it comes to sailing, are we going to see you on the world side of the race at one point?
I would hope so. I'd like to keep Team Outer Banks going, so hopefully next year I can find a good crew and we'll get it going.
I love that. I'm going to ask you the question because you're a part of the crew and a very, very, very crucial part of the crew. What do you think is like an interview, or how do you vet crew members to know that they're going to be worth it for you?
Go out and sail with them. That's really it. I got to find somebody who's been around been around boats for a long time, preferably about my size too, because much bigger it's going to be a heavier boat. But really just going out and sailing with them and making sure that we don't butt heads the entire time. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
How big is communication when it comes to a skipper and their crew member?
It's the biggest part of sailing, I think, because when you have two people on a boat, if you don't work together, the boat's not going to move. Because you're changing gears the entire time you're out there. I mean, you could be changing gears every 30 seconds, but you could also be on the same gear change for 5 or 6 hours. So it really just depends on how the communication works.
So it has to be like a cohesive situation between
absolutely.
the crew and the skipper.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, another question I want to know, with you being a part of the crew, how strenuous is it to push the boats out there for launch? Because you guys are like, you be putting all your might in there to get them out and get them out there safely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely a good way to wake up in the morning. I will say that. And it's also my favorite part of the entire day because it gets the brain moving, gets you moving out. It's a lot of fun. And then catching at the end of the day is just as fun too, because there's a big boat coming flying into you, and it's like jockeying, like you're running away, running around, it's a lot of fun.
I'm glad you say that it's fun, because on my end it looked dangerous. I don't know, it looks so dangerous. Oh my God, it's coming straight at you, and y'all just be running dead towards it.
Yeah.
It's no thought in your mind of, oh, halt, no.
I mean, there's always a chance of getting hit, but there's also a chance of something happening to the boat if you're not there as soon as it touches the sand. You could snap a rudder. So really you just want to get there as quick as you can and turn it into the wind, because we've had boats flip on the finish line, like we saw in, where was that? Daytona Beach. And we had to pick the mast up and come across. So just stuff like that. It's like you want to be there as soon as they touch the sand, because a lot of the time they're tired, they can't get off the boat quick, so you need to be able to push it into the wind to take all the speed and power out of the boat.
So that's one of the important roles of the crew, is because, again, they're out there all day, probably tired, a bit depleted, that you guys are at full energy, full whatever, to make sure that you can pick up what they don't have as they come in, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I like that. I like that aspect. Thank you for that. Another question I wanted to ask, with being a part of the crew, a lot of people that I've spoken to, actually, as the racers, talk about the camaraderie of the world race itself, and how it's not really about the competition at some point. It's about everybody coming together and helping. Do you, being a part of the crew, can you sense that? Can you see that or feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. The camaraderie is a huge part, because we're sitting on the beach for 4 or 5 hours before they come in. So it gets boring. My brother and the team from the ground crew from Ruin the Hat, we've been throwing the football. We had an electric foil out the other day. So it's just trying to find things to do that keep you busy.
Y'all was out there playing football that I was hearing earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, they're out there having fun. I didn't know that was y'all, but I was hearing it in the room, they're out there having a ball. So those are the things that keep you guys kind of sane while you're here waiting for them to come in.
Because personally, I'm driving up here with the truck and stuff, and I'm staring, I have my phone on my phone holder with the map up, so I'm tracking them the whole time. So I don't want to sit on the beach and be on my phone tracking. So throwing a football or frisbee or soccer ball just gives you something to do.
Understand. So you are, of course, a sailor as well. So can you tell me about some of the events that you sailed in?
I'm not a huge racer. I've done some long distance sailing. I sailed across the Atlantic last fall from Madeira, Canary Islands, and then across to Dominica. So that was a lot of fun. I was on a 112-foot boat. Ooh. It was really, really cool. And then I've done a bunch of just assorted sailing boats because my dad would bring boats in and he'd ask me to test them. And then we've done a couple of races down in Morehead City. We have 2 races in the Outer Banks, the Multi-Hull Fest and Duck Cup. And yeah, so I mean, it's just been a lot of small races. I've never done anything to this caliber, but I'm looking into getting into. I want to do the Martinique race, and then hopefully I'd like to eventually do the Whirl.
Nice. I can see you doing the world. I hope you're going to do the world. That'll be nice to continue that line down there. Have you actually taken home any trophies from
I've
any of the races?
I have taken home quite a few from the Melgus 15 fleet in South Carolina. I've raced a few times against them. Not first place, but third, second, or third, which I'm okay with. And then I also sailed some J24s in Charleston, weekend or a Wednesday night sailing races, and we took quite a few trophies home from that.
Nice. So you do a little bit. Okay, you do well. I
Yes, ma'am.
like that. I like that. Is there anything that you would, because I've heard a lot of the racers saying that they want to get new people to be a part, new faces, new blood, fresh blood. Is there anything that you can give to someone who has an aspiration to be a part of the world or in general, just racing? Is there any information or a tidbit that you would like to give them?
Honestly, just go out and try it. Like you can find a boat on Facebook Marketplace for I don't know $500, and then enter into a local race, and like that's your start of your racing career. Like that's all it takes.
That's it.
Yeah, that's really all it is.
So as you doing that for yourself, what gave you the whole, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this? Like it was just the love or the passion for it, or is it because you have a bloodline history in it?
It's a little bit of both. Definitely, my father is a huge part in keeping me in the sailing industry. And then I also want to captain when I'm older, and I live actually in Charleston here. So I spend countless hours on the water here. So yeah, just it's a passion for me.
Got you. Have you, since you like to be out on the water as well, I'm a modern day hippie. So what are your experience with some of the marine life that has been out there?
So I actually took a marine biology course recently, and I also offshore fish and all that fun stuff. So I see tons of sharks and every kind of bird you can imagine. Bunch of different species we've been catching this winter, which has been really cool. And then also sea turtles. Like there was I work in a marina in the harbor, and there's sea turtles in the harbor 2 weeks ago. So it was really cool. And then millions of dolphins. Like it's unreal.
Those are my favorite. Okay,
Yeah.
so in my mind, I like to think that when they see dolphins out there, that's kind of like a good sign. Am I lying about this?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're sailing, it's nice to have a little like comfort. There's a dolphin around you. When you're fishing, definitely not, because
Why?
they eat all the bait and everything. So you want to keep them away. But like even just like I work at a marina, so I'm like standing on a dock all day, and the dolphins will be right there, and it's entertaining to watch them. It really is.
They seem like they know. Like it seems like they know that we're watching, and it's like a hey, I'm here. I could be tripping because again, I'm a
No,
hippie. I
yeah.
like to think all animals can sense me. But is that true since you work in marine biology?
I don't work in marine biology. I've taken some courses in there,
Okay.
but they definitely I do believe that they can
sense.
sense it. They're incredibly smart animals.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So outside of that, what is next for you? Because I know we're here for another 6 days or so. What's next for you?
So I'm actually going back to the Outer Banks, North Carolina this summer and running a booze cruise charter boat as a captain. So I'll spend every day on a boat, and it's a 38-foot main catamaran. It's a pretty nice sized sailboat. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You said a booze cruise. You're
It
going to have to
is.
send me this information
Yeah,
because I think I
absolutely
want to
will.
be a part. Just have me a particular cocktail on the side and I'm ready. But thank you so much for having taking the time to talk to me, Rob. I appreciate it and giving me your insights. Now, I know we have a couple of people out there who want to say hello to you. We're going to get in the motion where we can interact with our comments that are coming in. So I want to give Rob some time to say hello to the fans that are out there, friends, family, because we know family keeps you guys going out here. So take some time to say hello and give them a shout out.
What's going on, everybody? I'll be back home in a couple weeks, and yeah, that's all I got.
Well, thank you. Short and simple. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Rob. Thank you very much. It is Nikki here at the World 1000 in the beautiful Folly Beach, South Carolina, and I'll be back.